It's 3 a.m., you're horizontal, eyes closed, basically a corpse. And then your brain leans over and goes, hey, psst, remember 2014? And suddenly, you're reliving the time you said you too to the waiter who said, enjoy your meal. A decade ago. Healed over. Buried. And your brain just dug it up like a dog returning a bone it hid for legal reasons. Here's the part I need you to sit with. This isn't a glitch. Your brain is working exactly as designed. It's doing this on purpose. There's a reason it picks the worst possible hour to hit play. And once you know the reason, you can shut it off. By the end, you'll have the one weirdly simple line that closes the file. But first, let's make sure you feel properly seen. Quick round. You've waved back at someone who is waving at the person behind you. Confidently. Both arms. You've won an entire argument in the shower. Demolish them. They weren't there. You were magnificent. You've pushed a door that clearly said pull in front of witnesses and then carried it with you for a calendar year. You've said, you too, when an airport worker said, have a safe flight. They were not flying. They worked there. You've answered, good, you, when someone just said, happy birthday. To this day, you do not know why. And the big one. You typed, ha ha, then lay there genuinely negotiating with yourself over whether it should have been 3 has or 2. Feels random, doesn't it? Like your mind just shuffles a playlist of your worst hits for fun. But notice what these all share. Not one is a real disaster. Every single one is just you, looking slightly silly for 1 second. So it's not random, and it's not even important. There's a system choosing these. A specific one, with rules. And honestly, it's a little bit evil. To meet the system, we have to go back. Way back. Long before doors had confusing signs. Picture your ancestor, 100,000 years ago, walking past a bush. One day, there's a berry in it. Lovely. Free snack, good for him. Next day, there's a lion in it. Less of a snack situation. Arguably, the opposite of a snack situation. Now, guess which one his brain decided to remember forever. Right. The lion. Always the lion. No one's brain frames the berry and hangs it in the hallway. And the math is brutal. Forget the berry, you miss a snack. Forget the lion, you are the snack. So evolution wrote a rule into all of us. Superglue the scary stuff, shrug at the good stuff. Survival first, vibes never. Psychologists call it negativity bias, and it's one of the most replicated findings in the field. Bad sticks harder than good. A single insult will physically outstay a whole afternoon of compliments. Genius out in the wild, an absolute liability of 3 a.m., when the lion your brain is screaming about is a text message from 2014. But hang on, that only explains what your brain saves. The lions. The scary highlight reel. It doesn't explain the timing. Why 3 a.m.? Why not over lunch? Why does it specifically wait for the dark to hit play? For that, we have to talk about what your brain quietly does the second you stop giving it a job. All day, you're loaded up. Emails, traffic, pretending to listen on calls, deciding what to eat, then redeciding. And all that noise is secretly doing you a favor. It keeps your brain's hands full, occupied, no spare time for mischief. Then, night comes. You lie down, lights off, phone down, and one by one, the distractions clock out. That's when a part of your brain that's been waiting patiently all day finally gets handed the car keys. Neuroscientists call it the default mode network. Think of it as your brain's screensaver. It switches on the instant you stop focusing on a task. And this network is where the personal stuff lives. Daydreaming, replaying conversations, picturing the future, quietly asking, who am I really? Sounds peaceful. In practice, the moment it gets bored, it reaches for the file labeled lion and goes, ooh, let's give this a watch. This is exactly why anxiety researchers say worry spikes at night. It's not the dark itself. It's that the distractions that were drowning it out have all gone home. There's a chemistry angle too. As you wind down, the stress hormones that kept you sharp drop off, and a tired brain is much worse at telling you, relax, it's nothing. And so, the nightly spiral begins. 11 p.m., lights out, totally fine. 12 a.m., one stray thought. 1 a.m., full rewatch of 2014. 2 a.m., reshooting it with sharper dialogue. 3 a.m., wide awake, kicking your legs. Same brain, 2 completely different shifts, clocking in. So the cringe doesn't show up at night. It's there the whole time. At night, there's just nothing left to hold it back. The bouncer went home. Fine. Annoying but survivable. Except here's where it stops being harmless. Because replaying a memory sounds gentle. It is not. You probably think a memory is a photo. Snapped once, saved, you just open it and look. Clean, permanent, unchanged. Wrong format. A memory isn't a photo, it's a story you retell yourself. And here's the genuinely unsettling part. Every single time you open a memory, your brain doesn't open it to view. It opens it to edit. Scientists call it memory reconsolidation. The second you recall something, it goes soft. editable, like wet clay you've just pulled off the shelf. Then, your brain saves it again. But it doesn't save the original, it saves this take, the one you just replayed at 3 a.m. while feeling like garbage. Which means every cringe replay stitches tonight's dread directly into the memory. You're not remembering it, you're re-recording it. A little worse each pass. In a famous experiment, people who watched a car crash later remembered broken glass that was never there. The only thing that changed? Researchers asked the question using a more violent word. The memory quietly rewrote itself. So that most embarrassing moment of yours? It's a director's cut. You've been adding dramatic lighting and a score to it for 10 straight years. And overthinking it doesn't make it deep, by the way. It's just worry that found a thesaurus. Less self-reflection, more decorating the lion. Still, the re-recording isn't even the cruelest part. The cruelest part is about who else is keeping a copy of your cringe. So here's the question that should actually keep you up. That moment you've now replayed 900 times. Who else even remembers it? The waiter? The person you waved at? That entire room you were certain had stopped to watch? The answer is nobody. Not one of them. And there's a specific name for why you're so dead certain they do. It's the spotlight effect. The feeling that a spotlight follows you everywhere, broadcasting your every move to a rapt, paying audience. Researchers actually tested it. They sent students into a room wearing an embarrassing t-shirt and asked how many people would notice. The students guessed about half the room. The real number was closer to a quarter. They were convinced everyone clocked the shirt. In reality, most people couldn't even tell you what was printed on it. Sit with that. The thing you've been quietly mortified about for years left the building before you even got home. Because everyone else is the main character of their movie. Each person stuck under their own spotlight, replaying their own waiter moment. That awkward thing you said, the other person was too busy panicking about the awkward thing they said to even file yours away. So let's put the actual scoreboard up for that one cringe moment. 9 years against 9 seconds. You built a museum wing around it. They didn't even take a photo on the way out. And the final twist. The version you kept is harsher than what actually happened. You're getting roasted nightly by a memory the other person doesn't even own a copy of. You are the only person alive who still remembers your most embarrassing moment, which makes you the only one keeping it on life support. And that's the relief hiding in all of this. If you're the only projector still running the film, then you're also the one holding the off switch. So how do you actually reach that switch? This is the part the hook promised you. 3 steps, the stuff that genuinely works. Step 1, when the replay starts, name it out loud. That's just my default mode network getting bored. Naming it yanks you out of the feeling and into the explaining part of your brain. The lion shrinks the instant you label it. Step 2, don't fight it lying down. That just feeds the loop. Get up. 5 minutes. Glass of water, different room. Standing up physically breaks the screensaver and reboots your attention. Step 3, the magic line. When the memory shows up, you tell your brain, noted, not tonight. You're not arguing. You're not rewatching. You're closing the file before it ever goes soft. And that's reconsolidation working for you. If you never fully reopen the memory, your brain never gets to resave it worse. You let it finally stay as small as it actually was. So here's the reframe. Your 3 a.m. brain isn't broken. It's a caveman security guard, still sweeping the dark for lions, holding up a 10-year-old text as evidence of a predator. It isn't trying to torture you. It's trying to protect you. It's just genuinely hilariously bad at telling the difference between a predator and a slightly awkward goodbye. The waiter forgot. The room forgot. The only lion left in that bush is the one you keep walking back to feed. So, tonight, when it cues up the highlight reel, name it, get up if you have to, and tell it, noted, not tonight. Then let it go back to sleep. And if you know someone who is at this exact second lying in bed kicking their legs over something from 2014, send them this. Tag your favorite overthinker. Their brain will thank you. Eventually. Probably around 3 a.m.